Imagine being completely alone hundreds of feet in the air miles from anywhere. Your job is to monitor the weather, but what happens when something else starts monitoring you? What if the tower itself holds a secret that taps back at your presence? Tonight we climb into the true story of a technician who discovered she wasn't alone at the very top. Sarah Jensen wasn't an urban explorer, she was a weather data technician. Her office was the sky, her colleagues the elements. For years, her routine involved scaling remote towering weather masts and communication arrays, performing maintenance in all conditions. It was a solitary but peaceful existence. That changed with her assignment to Tower 73, a colossal slender meteorological station anchored deep within an isolated barren valley. Tower 73 stood like a needle piercing the heavens miles from the nearest road, let alone a town. Its primary purpose was to monitor extreme atmospheric conditions. People rarely ventured near it, and Sarah found a unique, almost meditative solitude during her weeks-long shifts. But one particular night, as a storm front began to roll in the tower, revealed a presence far more chilling than any weather phenomenon. Sarah began her ascent in the late afternoon, reaching the primary sensor platform at the top, just as twilight deepened into night. The wind howled a symphony of isolated power, but even over its roar, she began to hear it a faint, sharp tapping. It wasn't the sound of metal contracting or equipment rattling. This was deliberate, irregular. It seemed to move. Her first thought was a loose panel or some animal caught in the lattice, but when she shone her powerful beam into the vast open structure of the tower, scanning the shadows below, nothing was there. Yet the tapping persisted, sometimes seeming to come from below her, sometimes from above, directly from the central mast. Her instruments, usually precise, began to flicker erratically. The wind speed indicator jumped wildly even when the gusts were consistent. Then, as she turned her back to check a malfunctioning wind sensor, she felt a cold, distinct pressure against her spine, as if something invisible was standing directly behind her. She spun around, beam, sweeping, heart pounding. Nothing, but the tapping was now rapid, furious, seeming to emanate from the very air around her head. A shadow impossibly deep seemed to coalesce for a fraction of a second in the peripheral vision of her headlamp. Panic seized her. This wasn't weather. This wasn't an animal. Something else was on the tower. With her only way out was down. The descent was a blur of terror. She scrambled down the internal ladders, her breath ragged, the tapping relentless behind her, sometimes above her, sometimes echoing directly from the metal she gripped. It felt like it was playing a terrifying game, moving faster than she could comprehend. Every creak of the tower, every gust of wind became amplified into the presence. She didn't stop, didn't look back until her feet hit the gravel at the base of the tower. She collapsed, gasping for air, the terrifying rhythm of the tapping still echoing in her ears, even in the relative safety of the ground. She never finished her shift at Tower 73. She resigned, unable to shake the feeling that something had claimed that tower and that it had watched her every move, patiently waiting for the next human to climb into its domain. To this day, the true nature of the Watcher in Tower 73 remains a terrifying enigma. Was it a territorial entity, a residual haunting, or something far more alien that patiently observes from the highest, most isolated points of our world? If this story made your skin crawl, you've only scratched the surface of the horrors lurking at extreme heights. Subscribe to the Rooftop Crypt now and ring the bell to uncover more chilling true tales from above.